hips don't lie, and apparently neither does she. The Colombian sensation blasted the Barbie movie, telling April's edition of Allure magazine, "Let men be men." Her son, she says, didn't think much of the flick either, saying they absolutely hated it, adding, quote, "They felt that it was emasculating, and I agree to a certain extent."
In the interview, she further elaborated, pointing to the fact that she's raising 2 boys and that she wants them to feel powerful while respecting women. Shakira's criticism of the movie echoed sentiments from people who lean conservative. She earned kudos from the likes of Piers Morgan, who posted to X, quote, "Hurrah for Shakira, finally a high-profile woman prepared to stand up for men being men." Even disgraced ex-GOP Congressman George Santos chimed in, posting, "Good for her for expressing her opinion without fear." And there were others on the right who said that as well.
I also didn't like the Barbie movie, but I didn't get plaudits from Piers Morgan on Twiter. What's the deal?
You should have added him. You should have asked him. Where's my trophy, Piers?
This is so interesting. So help me understand this.
A lot of liberals mad at her, though.
Robby, did you, she's allowed to have her interpretation of a movie. I'm a little confused at what this is national news. Can you help me understand, as someone, you've seen the Barbie movie.
Yes.
As I understand it, if I recall correctly, you even had a Barbie-themed Ken Halloween costume, not to disclose too much about what happens off camera. But, did you find, Robby, this film to be emasculating?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I did. I kind of share this criticism. Well, look, the Kens are, when they begin the movie, are second-class citizens in Barbie land. They don't vote. They don't have meaningful work. Barbie denies Ken romantic and sexual fulfillment. And then the Kens take over Barbie land. They launch Ken's Glorious Revolution, where they seize power. And then the climax of the movie is Barbie getting back power from Ken. And then where I thought it would be a power sharing, obviously it's not, the film was not going to endorse having men run everything on horses, etc. I thought there was going to be some recognition that maybe the Kens get some kind of participation in the society, and in fact, no, there's just no answer for what Ken's supposed to do. It's a funny moment. It's played for laughs when the Kens say, "Could we have one seat on the Supreme Court?" And the Barbie's like, "No." So I look in the film. I don't know that the film is endorsing those politics or anything. So I was not a person who was like, "Boo, this film hates men. It's so bad." There are things about it I like. There are things about it I didn't like. I don't even care if its politics are bad, frankly. But I don't know that I used the word emasculating, but the film was a little bit indifferent to the suffering of Ken.
Yeah, that's a big word. And, two things strike me. One is that when liberals think that political messaging of a film isn't good because it is insulting to women, minimizes their equal role in society. They're called kind of woke, sensitive snowflakes who are demanding too much of media that they should just relax and enjoy. And so it is interesting to see this criticism coming from the other side. At the same time, I share your criticism with that narrative arc in the movie. Mine is a little different. My concern is that when the Barbies took over, they didn't do so through ingenuity, intelligence. They do it using their feminine wiles. Remember, they flirt with the Kens at this campfire scenes to get them so kind of excited about female attention that they kind of forget. Oh,
right, and they make all the Kens jealous of each other.
Exactly, so the Kens fight each other over the women's because they're so pretty. And that seemed to me to really defeat the purpose of what we're trying to say about Barbie universe and the ability of women to perform whatever role in society historically has been relegated to men only. And I also share your criticism that the commitment to the female-led Barbie world does have some odd implications for the real world, especially since the character of Barbie is supposed to have had her kind of awakening because she goes to the real world and didn't like being discriminated against. The solution is to come home and reimpose discrimination exactly of the sort that she experienced in the real world. It is a messy message.
I think we need to spread democracy abroad. Why is the U.S. allowing Barbie land, which has valuable natural resources, to be a feminist autocracy? No. I am calling on us to arm the moderate Kens. They will greet us as liberators.
All right, okay. But getting back to the Shakira of it all, I mean, I do think there was something. I she can have her opinion, but I don't know. First of all, if she doesn't think that the movie is suitable for her kids, like millions of parents around the world, she can simply opt not to show her kids certain kind of movies, or not show, or to affirmatively show them certain kinds of movies.
I wonder if the kids are 9 and 11, the boys. I wonder if they wanted to see this movie.
Right, like who wanted to see it?
We didn't go watch this movie, you know.
Right.
It's kind of like.
Right, did you force them to watch the movie, and now you're offloading your responsibility for that choice without pre-screening it for your kids onto the public?
Maybe they were doing Barbieheimer, so they had to see both of them.
They had to see both of them? Well, maybe watching Oppenheimer shored up her kids' sense of masculinity. Also, an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old sense of masculinity? You're a prepubescent baby.
Shakira's great. You leave Shakira alone. Her fans were actually mad at her. Now, I don't know how.
What did they say?
I don't know if people are going to be burning their Shakira albums, but there were some people like, how dare you? You sound right wing, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a effing movie. Get over it. Which kind of goes both ways. Like, she was asked about the movie, right? In this interview, like they asked her about it. She didn't just like go off on social media and say, I hated this movie and you should hate it too, or something. Like, someone specifically asked her opinion on it, and she honestly said, I didn't like it because of the message in it, and my kids didn't like it. Which, what was she supposed to say? She's supposed to say, no, it was fine. Lie. I don't. It's not like she was forced into this situation.
Yeah, I do think the critique is more about what, and this is. She can mind her own business. She can parent however she wants. It is what it is. But, I do think there is an interesting kind of transparency about the kinds of values she wants to impart on her kids, to specifically have the critique, not that the movie was kind of emasculating, but that she felt like it would have a negative impact on her children specifically because of that viewing, and that she wants her kids to have a different, I don't know, something about being more masculine because of having consumed a certain kind of film, I think, is where, to me, it seems the dissonance lies. Who you are as a person is built up of so many constituent parts that the idea that one film in particular would be called out as having that kind of a detrimental effect on, again, very, very young boys is a little... I can understand why people had a reaction.
Yeah. No, I do too. I don't know that emasculating is the right word. It was misinterest. It manifested an indifference or even dislike of the male figures in the movie. I can agree with that.
I think that's better put for sure.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that critique didn't seem to get very much broad traction. It is true that almost every critique of the Barbie movie was met with condemnation at the time. I remember I did an episode of my podcast about the movie, which I didn't like for some of the reasons. Well, I didn't say I was frustrated with for some of the reasons that we just talked about. Even if it had a lot of funny parts, I thought Ryan Gosling was absolutely hilarious and extraordinary. I thought the sets and all of that were really good. But it is interesting to see 6 or 7 or 8 months later, after it premiered, how it just did not fare as well as at the Oscars as many people anticipated. That it didn't seem to have the same kind of cultural moment that people anticipated. And now finally we're starting to get some breakthrough where people are willing to acknowledge, oh, maybe the America Ferrera speech was a little pat, a little 1990 like version of feminism, a little regressive, that, if you really wanted to be feminist, maybe you should have tried fleshing out her character instead of making her a secretary with a husband she seems to hate. Are they married? Are they not married? It really wasn't even clearly described in the film. Who wasn't given any bones to her character. The only real woman in the entire movie who wasn't given any real bones to her character, but yet was the one that was nominated for an Oscar here. So I'm glad to see that there is room to make these kind of criticisms, even if I don't necessarily share the specific criticism that Shakira has mounted.
I'm just glad we got another opportunity to talk about Barbie, and I love it. All right, that does it for us today. Tomorrow on Rising, we'll be back with more just excellent content, hopefully more light, fluffy, pop culture-y banter. We just love it.
If you like this video enough, then maybe we can convince Robby to don his Halloween costume once again and show you all what I was privy to on October 31st.
A million views, and I'll do it.
All right.
Absolutely.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content. And for those of you who prefer to listen while you're on the go, we're now available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Bye-bye.
Take care.